Yo, what's good, everybody? This is the one only Casaval Marquis, and you are back at an undisclosed location because I had to get permission to tell this story. Um, about KP, the muscle of the trio, and what made him decide to not only just be loyal to me, but also loyal to Pietro, and like why we're so close. So, if you've been paying attention to the stories, you've already seen that before, you know, in the last, well, not the last story, but in the beginning of our origin story, KP basically, we met him, me and Pietro, we met him at the basketball court. And, he was always a stand up and he was noble, big, heavy set dude, you know what I'm saying? Well, not like fat, heavy set, but muscular dude. Always cool, right? Down from day one. So as things progressed and we got into like, high school and, you know, now we all looking at each other's back and everything else, you know, we learn, of course, just like I learned everything about Pietro in the previous story that y'all saw. I started learning everything about KP. Um, so start with KP. His parents died. Okay, he had like older parents who were like old, and he's kind of like the baby of the bunch. Like he only has one younger brother, and that brother ended up wanting to really live with his aunt, so he never really was around like that because he was like the baby. Like he was still a baby when his parents died. But KP, he's the second youngest. You know what I mean? But anyway, to make a long story even longer, so KP, he has older siblings. He has one older sibling who is the oldest sibling, the one female older sibling. She's basically like mama to everybody. So when his parents died, everything basically went to her. Like as far as the house is concerned, and she basically took care of like all the other brothers that's between her and KP. Now, she's older than KP by I think like 10 years. Now, in between there, KP has three brothers. Those brothers are gangsters. We ain't gonna sugarcoat it. But they the type of dudes that, they get busy and they set things off, but like they back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth to jail. So for a long time, KP, it was just like KP and like one of his brothers, then he'll go to jail or something, or he'll move out. It was like KP and the sister night. Like when things were just KP and one of the brothers and what I'm saying, his sister, it was manageable. But when all three of his brothers is out at the same time, now we get to where we at in the story. High school. We doing our thing. We starting to, take over and recruit people and watch each other's back because now, you know, we all getting money. Not like major money, but we supporting ourselves money. Okay. And like I said, we in high school, and I never forget. I got because back then that classic Nokia, that classic gray Nokia, had that in class. I'm chilling. I got a text in class. You know what I'm saying? From Pietro, which ain't nothing new. We used to text each other back and forth, whatever. And he like, yo, meet me at the bathroom, bro. I'm like, all right. So I hall pass it out, go to the bathroom. He like, yo. I'm like, yo, where KP at? He's like, man, nah, I need to talk to you alone. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, what's up? He was like, yo, man, you've been noticing, like, anything just weird about KP, you know what I'm saying? Like the last, the last couple of, weeks or whatever, like anything weird? Like you notice anything? I'm like, nah, not really. You know what I'm saying? Like I know, he been a little, I did notice he was a little standoffish, but he was still, down for the cause, everything, but like he was a little bit like distant, you know what I mean? Like he don't want anybody to really like help him with things. We just like, that's kind of weird for his behavior. Even though we haven't known him that long, we've known him for like a couple of years, but like we know this ain't him. So I was like, well, only other way to, really really deal with this is like, confront him and be like, yo, bro, like, what's up? So next day, we actually forgot about it. Not even gonna BS. It was like the next day that we actually like had time to like, kick it with him. And it was early in the morning and like we came, it was like, he was coming up and we came and we gave him dap and he was like, yo, what's good? And like, except this time, when you about to have a serious conversation, sometimes people do be a little extra. I'm gonna be honest with you. I am a little extra. You know what I'm saying? This is how people know when it's about to get serious. We came in for the hug, and when he did, like, he kind of, he was like, dog, you all right? Like, yeah, man. It's like, yeah, man, I'm good. And we like, yo, you getting a fight or something? Like, is this what's going on? So, Pietro, all the way to Puerto Rican, I came out. Him, like, yeah, bro, whoa, we gotta get busy. Yo, why didn't you call us? So everything's running like a million miles an hour, and that's when we got to know about what was going on at KP's house. Now I told y'all, out of all the houses we used to chill at, we spent most of the time at Pietro house, because of his mom's situation. But, that was like mostly our spot until we had spots. My house the least, because my mother was tripping. You know what I'm saying? Just very overprotective. She did what she could, bless her. And then never really at his house, you know what I mean? But every once in a while. So we then learned that his brothers is out. And he tells us, like, his brothers, like, they don't like him. And it's more than just like Silver and Riley don't like him. Like, they don't even like that he exists. And, when it's one of them, they kind of just be like, man, they just, say some words or whatever, maybe run up on him. But, it's one-on-one. But when all three of them, they got one common enemy, and it's him. Because he's the baby. And they like, you can't ask for food. Why is we feeding you? So if they even see him, like, on site, they would just beat on him. I'm not talking about, like, friendly, slap boxing type. No. I'm talking about boom, 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 like stomping him out, and like he had basically, it wasn't like a broken rib, but it was kind of, bruised rib. And when we heard that, me and Pietro was like, bruh, that shit over with, bruh. Like, it was forget school, forget everything at that moment. It's like, bruh, like, we brothers, bruh. Like, we friends, but we brothers. Like, we all we got. And that's how this became like a link in a chain, and like, that's it. Just like the bond that I had with Pietro, and that, like, that's how it formed with KP. And we knew we had to take care of this ASAP. So we called up some older homies that, you know what I'm saying, we knew that we could trust, not no clowns, but people that were, you know, respectable gentlemen. You know what I mean? Very serious individuals, people that you don't play with, who are universally, no matter where you are in the city or what you know, like they're known. And we told them, like, hey, look, we about to go over to, you know what I'm saying, KP's house. You about to get his stuff, everything else. Like, he ain't allowed to live there no more. Now, we know that y'all know these cats. Y'all done, you know, they done been part of y'all crews. You know, y'all done served time with them, whatever. You know, this is why they got somewhat of a diplomatic community out here on the streets. But, hey, bruh, for what they doing and what they did and everything else, like, bro, we ain't having that. And it was kind of interesting because, you know, people around us that was our age bracket and that was, you know, like I said, around us, they knew we was a crew. But when we made that really was like a declaration that not only are we serious, but we're not to be played with. We don't care who you are, what you're connected to, anything else. It's all or none. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, we ain't the biggest, we ain't the baddest, we a new crew, we a new this, but like, bruh, it's over with. If we all gotta, how they say today, crash out, then that's just what we doing. You know what I'm saying? But I know what we ain't doing, and that's letting this abuse continue. So we reached out, and to be honest with you, everybody was like, dang, for real, they doing that? Yeah, man. Man, he do got a little brother. And I used to ask, like, why you know what I'm saying? Well, what's the situation? And 3 of them came along and was like, y'all about to take youngin', that's cool. We'll go with you. And we gonna be right outside. We want them to try something with y'all. Now, what they didn't know is, oh, we're not just taking the homeboy. We ain't just taking KP out the environment. It's no longer just he don't live here no more. We about to get some revenge. Statute of limitations is up, and this is why I had to, you know, get permission for this and everything, because now I can actually tell what really happened. Man, as soon as we linked up with older homies and everything else, it was on. We was like, all right, y'all know where we gonna be at. Went. That's when we had the expedition. Went, got some baseball bats, everything. I was like, bruh, I'm about to go bury Bonds in this motherfucker. I'm coming in here like SWAT, kicking the door. I'm laying everybody out. The only person that ain't getting laid out is your sister, because even though her sister was older and she did allow a lot of that to happen, I felt like, you know, that's a tough position to be in. You know what I mean? Then the sister had, you know, a kid, a daughter at the time, and I'm like, but all these dudes in here getting laid out. And that's exactly what happened. Hopped out, baseball bats, boom, kicked in the door. They was just sitting there. One was on the couch, the other one was on the floor watching TV, you know, because they went in there, they didn't even stand a chance. It's instantly laid everybody out. Baseball bat. What? And it was so crazy. KP, he's swinging on his own brothers. I mean, he's messing them up. It's going down. What up? So, excuse me. You know, I got to be careful what I drink on TV now, especially on here, since, you know, sponsorships. But anyway, so it went down, and it was going on, and then next thing y'all know, man, in the midst of swinging a baseball bat and inflicting a lot of bodily harm, I looked over at Pietro and he was crying. I looked over at KP and he was crying. Not even knowing it really myself, I was crying. And like I said, these dudes was fresh out of jail, repeat offenders of jail, habitual offenders of jail. We laid it on them. But I remember in my mind saying to myself, nobody deserves this. Don't nobody deserve to get treated like this. And I'm going to give you every ounce of pain to which you have given my brother. Because as he was telling us this in school before all of this happened, when he finally confessed on what was going on with him, he used to tell us just simple stuff. Like he'd have to go in the refrigerator. They would just plop by the laundry room, jump out on him like, you hungry? We gotta feed you, everything else. And like, it was so crazy because the sister was getting food stamps for him. You know what I'm saying? Like she using your social, to get assistance, and these guys is beating you like senseless behind it. And it just, if ever there was that one reason when I knew I started to slip into who I became, that was definitely one of those moments where I knew who I was in life and my reality was not normal. I knew I was starting to become something extremely violent, but just pure rage and pain. I knew at that moment I wanted to give the world the same amount of pain that the world had given me. It's like I wanted to literally set the world on fire and watch it burn because the world had failed the people who it was responsible for protecting. And after that situation happened, we threatened them and told them, after a good beat down with them baseball bats for about it was about at least 4 minutes. Now, you might say to yourself 4 minutes ain't a long time, but remember, you getting hit by a baseball bat at a nonstop rate, very, very hard and very, very in all different places for 4 minutes. Yeah, we almost unalived them. And we told them, like, look, we taking him. Don't try to get him back. He's no longer y'all family. And if we find out that y'all called them people, aka the law, social services, anything else, because they could have tried to get us with kidnapping and everything else, but we already on they type of time. We gonna come back, and the people out, and if you try to run to the streets and retaliate, we got some people outside who already know what time of day it is, and they got our backs, and they did. That was the older homies who automatically was like, bro, we don't condone that. That ain't how we move. So, that went down. So after that, we in the expedition riding around, and we had knew some impoverished citizens, and impoverished citizens we knew had IDs, and we coerced them to basically get us a hotel room, and that's how the KP ended up staying at the hotel for really the majority. I'd say a grade over 75% for sure of his high school career. Like he literally lived there. And what we would do is we would hustle to make sure that he had rent every week. Because at that time, at the motel that we put in the impoverished citizens name, you know what I'm saying, you could stay for like $45 a night. You know, some of them had like weekly specials for like four, I think it was like 486 a week. You know, you got a place, you basically got your own, apartment. But the only thing about it is yeah, you paying that a week, not times that by 12. You know what I'm saying? Times that, but then again, look at the efficiencies. You got internet, you got water, you got this, you got an efficiency. And during the recession, a lot of people who lost their apartments and everything else, they actually shook back by doing the exact thing. So what ended up happening is now, of course, you got impoverished citizens who like to smoke that rock candy decided, you know what I'm saying, like, we just gonna live here. And the more the merrier. Like, if you get 2, 3, 4 people, you know what I'm saying, to get a room and everything else, I mean, like, this is how it happened. Like, this is how they gonna come up out of the hole, or this is how we're gonna keep expenses low so we can spend money on rock candy and booger sugar. Cause oh boy, we was right around the corner from selling a lot of Moses to moving into booger sugar activities. And that's what happened. So we went ahead, and at first, it was very like, we had to make sure that the impoverished citizen, like we knew him and which we did. And, at first we was giving him off what he wanted to, use his ID, go in there, sign for a room in there in KP, just live in the room. But then what ended up happening is after a while, we started giving him little. And after a while, we just felt like we couldn't trust him, mainly because we couldn't find him all the time. You know what I mean? Like when you like going throughout the streets to find a impoverished citizen on rock candy, they can sometimes be hard to find. So, it was like, man, bro, we ain't got time for this. So we just ended up like, hey, you see us with him, we came to pay his rent. And then before long, it just became we paying rent. You know what I mean? Like they, I don't mean to be stereotypical, but the Patels, shout out to y'all, you know what I'm saying? Ahmed, Ikan, Armand, yeah, they didn't care. You know what I mean? It was it wasn't one of their big establishments, you know what I mean? Like later on, of course he moved to nicer environments, but he was still at the hotel for, like I said, for years. You know what I mean? He didn't even get out of that hotel until maybe 2, maybe 3 years after he started dating Michelle, which we'll get into on another origin story. I think I'll probably make that like volume 2 of KP origins. Yeah, the introduction of Michelle. All right, so, but like I was basically just saying, when we moved him in and we told him like, look, bro, you ain't allowed to go back there. Like we are brothers and everything else. We built that bond, and he knew that that was like unconditional love, and that's the first time, me knowing now what that was. We just thought it was like, yeah, don't mind, like I'll ride for you, I'll bust my gun for you, I'll do whatever for you. Like for him, that he knew that we unconditionally had this love, this brotherhood, that nothing and no one could come between. And we're gonna stand for what's right before we stand for what's wrong. And that's really how the trio started out as friends to we skip over, well, we gonna be lifelong friends and best friends to like brother. We are brothers. You know, still to this day we talk. Even though we're not supposed to. And even in a time when we were legally not supposed to communicate, we found ways to communicate. Like, you're not going to tear us up, you know, asunder, because those are my boys. When I didn't have a family, they was my family. And I'm just keep that, like, you know, 110% real. You know what I mean? Like, even down to a point to where, for me personally, you know, it was KP who a lot of times pulled me to the side and say, bro, I know that's your family, you know, your blood family over there or whatever, like your actual biological family, you know, you trying to, you know, show love, but your family ain't loving you like how you would, like, or how what you're supposed to be receiving. You treating them like how any cousin should be there for their cousin, or how any nephew would, you know, you're trying to make this an actual family situation, and your family, they don't even look at you, they don't even see you as an individual, as a human being worth living. So how are they gonna even, if they can't give you that respect, that common decency of humanity respect, how in the world they gonna, you know what I'm saying, teach you anything right, or feel that you're worthy of anything right, or even love you right? And, you know, I, to this day, I still thankful for that. That's my dog, you know what I mean? Like, we went through a lot. um, this also goes into how, as I now put all the pieces together in the framework of the puzzle, now we can also get into how we took over hotels and how we started realizing, like, dang, everybody live here, you know what I mean? And so a lot of these hotels was like, you know, they pay rent and they supply our, you know, our property with Moses, Booger Sugar, and Horseback. Which Horseback was very, which, if y'all don't know what that horse is, y'all never been in the streets. And if you ain't never been in the streets, I advise you to never, ever get in the streets, join a gang, or go anywhere where you have to dang on represent the hood. Yeah. Um, but when them Skittles came out, you know what I'm saying? Whoo! It was, yeah, it got deep. But anyway, that's another hood story. We're gonna get into that a lot later. But we're gonna give you all the framework now. So everybody, this is all the framework. Okay? Framework. You about to see how this picture look, what it looked like in the middle, and I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed. But that's what happened with that situation. It was a very good, because we actually started to see, like, all right, well, we're actually grinding a whole lot differently than most of these guys is. You know what I mean? We can control this. We can't control something that was started or founded before us, unless we have dominance and everything else, and, you know, what has existed. You know, you can't just say that you're the new this when it already pre-exists. Like, and we're talking about, you know, the street lingo. So if you've been a part of my channel this far, I thank you so much. Make sure that y'all actually check out the Casaval Marquis TikTok, you know, where I have a lot of these episodes broken down, just in case you don't feel like, you know, into shorts, you don't feel like hearing a lot of this stuff. I got a lot of stuff coming out. I also have the Casaval Marquis Emporium. Okay, the Emporium is the one-stop shop for all your female clothes, ladies. Ladies, I got y'all the hottest designs. You're not gonna find this anywhere else. Okay, I got the leggings out right now, the tops. I'm about to, get into the swimsuits, yo. We even about to have the baby line coming out, and then next year I'm just gonna give you a sneak peek, but I'm gonna have the for both men and women. So hey, that's just more to come. I just thank everybody for being here, and yeah, this is how KP, the muscle of the trio. This is what made him be like, yo, it's on, no matter what. Yeah. But anyway, I gotta get out of here because you know what I'm saying, it's an unsold location, and you know shit gets real out here. Y'all take it easy. Love y'all and peace.